I mean, look at that. That is just some of the fittest, fattest trout you'll ever see in your life. And to catch one of these in a day
is awesome.
Let alone to get double hookups on them. Yesterday afternoon I had the call from Scott Gray and he said, Lee, I don't care what you're doing tomorrow, cancel it because you need to be at a place called Bolac, Lake Bolac. It's in Western Victoria. And now Scotty loves his trout fishing. He does more of it than most people could dream of. And he said to me, mate, I have seen and been part of some of the best trout fishing that I have ever experienced in my entire life. And I think you should get down here and experience it too. So we're heading a couple of hours west of Melbourne. The target species is a big rainbow trout, and he just said, be here by 8:30 in the morning and you won't be disappointed. I'm really hoping he's right. How are you, Scotty?
Hey dude, how you going?
Good, so this is Lake Bolac.
Yeah, this is it, mate.
Good stuff, big lake.
Yeah, no, it's awesome, but don't be too disheartened at the size.
Yeah.
It's pretty shallow, so we should be able to get some fish.
So what's the plan?
What about just getting the boat and let's go?
1 second, I'll grab my gear. All right, mate, what part of the lake are we heading to? Looked really good over the back.
Yeah, there's some great looking spots there, but we're going to start right here. 100 metres from the ramp. There's some good bait balls here, so as good as any. Yeah, no, mate, I'm serious. And we're going to trial on the electric today because the water here is quite shallow, sort of only between 1.5 and 2 metres. So stealth is important.
Sure.
And we'll get the lures in and hopefully we'll scare the hell out of you.
All right, you're the boss.
Now, we're using an electric motor today for trolling. It gives us great stealth. And one of the great advantages of the iPilot Minn Kota that I've got here, I've got the 80-pound thrust model, is that I can drive it from the back of the boat. And that's got some great advantages. I can use the foot pedal up there if I need to, but I've got this little remote here, which I can basically control the speed and the direction of the boat. So I can be right back here where all the action is, and as soon as the rod goes, I'm right on top of it.
Pretty barren sort of bottom, mate.
It is, and look, really there's not much to this lake at all. It's
No.
actually quite shallow. It basically was a dust bowl about a year ago.
Yep.
And I guess the reason why we're here today is to target big rainbows.
Yep.
And a lot of people wouldn't know Lake Bolac is a good rainbow trout fishery because in the past there hasn't been, you know.
I'll give you a hot tip. I didn't even know Lake Bolac.
Exactly, and there's plenty of lakes like this throughout Victoria, which was stocked as part of the drought recovery project last year, when Fisheries Victoria stocked nearly 180,000 rainbow trout and brown trout into lakes across Victoria in November to take advantage of the rising water levels, which we've seen everywhere.
Yeah.
And you know what the best thing about this whole thing is too, Lee?
What?
Is all the stockings that took place as part of this drought recovery project were funded by recreational fishing licence revenue.
There you go.
And what a great way to spend our recreational fishing licence funds on things like this.
Let's just hope those funds catch me about a 7-pound rainbow, Scotty. Got him, mate?
Yep. Did you see that, Lee?
I'm looking out the back going, hey, look at that fish jump. Scotty, yes, sir. Yeah, I'm on. Sorry.
And this fish is a fair way back. Hit the rod that was about 40 metres back. So we'll just get him up near the boat and then see what happens. Oh, there he goes. Just got a bit of air. Now I've only got the drag on fairly light here. It's important that you've got it done up for the hookup so that you drive those hooks in. But once you get around the boat, once the hooks are in, there's really no need to go too hard on your fish, and these rainbows will really play up. And they're just so fit and in such good condition. It's only a small one, mate.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, gee. I'm happy to catch small ones like that all day.
And these small fish are just as good as any other fish you'd catch any other year. It's just that there's some real monsters in here at the moment that, you know, you just don't know what you're going to expect. And look at that, they just take off. And that's why people love rainbows. Not only do they look beautiful, but they always give a good account of themselves.
He's still got some sting about him, mate.
That's it. And the water's so cold still, you know?
Yeah.
It's only 14 degrees or so.
Look how fat it is.
All right, I'll just walk backwards. Simple as that.
Into the net. Wow.
There you go.
And you're saying that's not a big one?
That's it, mate. Look, that's pretty average. That'd probably only just be 2 kilos. You know, there he goes. The hooks come out in the net, and that's why I like to use that sort of net. That's the Enviro net. It hasn't got a lot of things to catch your lure on, and that way you can get your lure out of the net and straight back in the water as quickly as possible.
That is a fair pig of a trout, Scotty.
It is.
At 11 months old.
They grow pretty much about sort of 300 grams a month, or have been growing at about 300 grams a month. So, you know, they've got every chance of reaching, you know, those monumental sizes in here if they get through the summer months.
Sure do. Look how thick it is there. And upside down, look at the stomach on it. And that's not a spawn fat fish, that's just a food fat fish.
That's it. And the flesh is beautiful too, you know, when you cut them open and fillet them. Yep. It's beautiful, it's got marbling, it's nice and orange.
Now, one thing too, very quickly, if you ever catch sometimes brown trout, quite often they can be silver in colour, or people get them confused with salmon and stuff like that. Rainbow trout, they've got spots on the tail, browns don't. Neither do salmon.
All right, mate, well, we'll get him into the live well there.
Sure.
And let's get another lure out because we're just about to hit the 2 posts.
Why is it called 2 posts?
I don't know. I didn't have anything else I could call it.
Being that Scotty tells me the lake's shallow, but it's full of bait fish being smelt and gudgeon and stuff like that, our spread of lures today is very heavily going to consist of minnow pattern style lures, something like these little X-wraps here. They imitate the bait very, very nicely. They're the right size. At the other end of the scale, we will be using some slightly bigger sort of stuff. Things like a CD7 Rapala is always going to be very good because it will run just slightly deeper, but we don't want it to run too deep. The biggest thing that would be different to our normal trolling spread is something like, say, this X-Wrap 10, which is absolutely dynamite in Bullameri, Purrumbete, or any of the snowy lakes up in New South Wales, is going to be no good here because that is going to plough straight into the bottom, constantly getting sludge and weed and stuff on it, so it's not really the key here. The lures we've got are generally shallow running. The other things we'll mix it up with are some jointed lures, something like the jointed Rapala, like that. He swims beautifully at this nice slow speed that we're doing. Nice bright colour like that also will stand out just beautifully in this tannin coloured water. And the water here, Scotty, it's not crystal clear, is it?
No, you can see down about 1 metre, but it's just got that tinge to it, which is sort of good. The fish won't be too wary, so if they can see the lure, they'll probably smash it.
Yeah, and have you been finding that, you know, lately, because of this coloured water, that some of the lures with just that bright little patch in them will stand out a bit more, work better?
Definitely. One of my favourites, the perch pattern, with that nice orange belly.
Definitely.
And the stripes very vivid. If they can see it, bang, they'll hit it. And like you said before too, with the X-Wrap, they've got that rattle in it as well.
Yes.
Which helps the fish find the lure too. So,
Definitely.
We'll just mix up the spread with a few different lures and we'll see what catches the fish.
Sure. The other thing I really like is the brand new Aussie special spotted dog Rapala. There's only limited numbers of them, but something like this, if you're into your trout fishing, we originally had to make them ourselves, basically with a whiteout pen and a red texture. We'd put our own spots onto a gold Rapala. The boys have now come out with one that's made properly, shall we say. It's a gold original floating 7 Rapala with 4 beautiful red and white spots on it. And if I put this out in this tannin water, the lure itself might not stand out 100%, but I can guarantee those red and white spots, they'll kick off a lot of light, and that's probably what will attract the fish to that lure above everything else.
Oh, yeah, Lee, you're on. Oh, you had a hit? Yeah, you're still on there. You're still on there. Righto, I'll just knock it out of gear. Right. Oh, look at him fly across the top there.
You'll see this is quite a long rod. It's actually an Egie or a squid rod. It's an Emeraldus, and it's absolutely perfect for this trout trolling stuff. I've been running it out the side, helps spread the lures out a bit more, and best of all, it's long and soft and it absorbs the jumps and the lunges and the dives of these trout with these little hooks. And we're actually just trying to chase up on a couple of birds that were zipping around. I don't know, have they disappeared?
Yeah,
Scotty?
we sort of scared them away, but we saw some, like, I don't know what sort of birds they were, but they were just dipping on the water, looked like they were eating some bait. And we just went over it. It was a bit like tuna fishing, Lee.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though, when you find the bait balls and you find the fish, there's not a lot of structures in here. You just keep making your passes over the balls, and every run, pretty much, isn't it, Lee?
I would go so far, Scott, as to say that I've never seen a trout fishing location where the trolling was so easy, so shallow. There's not even weed on the bottom at the moment to get your lures fouled.
We're flatline trolling. All you do, basically, I know it sounds simple, is putting a lure on, throwing it out the back, and driving along.
Yep, too easy.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself, mate. They really play up.
They certainly do. The other good thing about this long rod, it's easy for me to keep that fish away from the hull and away from the big motor at the back. You're right.
All right. He's going to go in backwards, I think.
He's going to go. There you go.
All right.
Thanks,
well
Scotty.
done, mate. Awesome.
Beautiful. And it's funny how they vary in shape a bit from fish to fish.
Yep.
You know, you're saying they're all similar length.
Yep.
Some are just footballs, some want like this, a little bit leaner.
Some are smaller footballs.
Yeah. Some are like junior footies, some are proper footies. There we go.
He's out.
Look at that. And that's probably more of a classic looking sort of trout. A little bit longer, a little bit leaner, still in great condition. I tell you what, mate, we've got some nice fish in the tank. Let it slide this guy back.
I reckon that's fair enough, mate.
All right, mate. There you go.
One really important thing when you're trolling is to get your spread right, and it doesn't matter whether you're fishing for tuna or fishing for a trout in a lake like this. Lee and I are running 2 rods each today. We're allowed to run 2 lines per person in Victorian inland waters. So we've got 4 altogether in total. We've got 2 on each side, and we've got pretty much different lures on each one. We're going to try and find out which is working best on the day today. But what we've done is we've staggered the lures. We've got some about 50 metres back, some at 40 metres, and then a couple at about 30 metres. And the good thing about that is when we go to turn around, we can do a nice slow arc, the lures won't get tangled up. But we also might find later that the fish are hitting the lures at 30 metres, and then we can adjust our spread accordingly. And that's important because we want to catch as many fish as we can today and make the most of our opportunities. Got him on.
In, Scotty.
Yep. I think I just said, didn't I, any second now we'll get one on the short lure.
Yeah.
And that's important. The importance of having that spread, just mixing it up. And I actually had a tap then.
Yep.
And then I thought he'd missed it, but he obviously came back and smashed it again. Oh, here we go. He's going to get angry.
I don't think he's quite done yet, mate.
No, mate, not at all.
Oh, nice.
Just backing that drag right off. No need to do anything silly.
He's still got plenty left in him. He's kicking pretty hard. You can sort of see when your fish come up, they're either, you know, quite lethargic or swimming a bit slower. This guy, you can see his tail's still kicking very fast. He's still got fast movements all the time. And as much as you want that fish in the boat, the last thing you want to do is start swiping away with the net.
You ready?
Yep.
Got him.
Oh, look at that.
Well done, mate.
That is
what a
an
horse.
absolute pig of a fish, Scott. Wow.
Like a bullet.
Mate, that fish is just staggering in its fatness.
It is, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's interesting to note that the trout growth rates that we get here in the Western Districts of Victoria are as good as anywhere in the world when conditions are right. And in like Native America, North America, where these fish are actually from, they don't often grow this fast in their natural environment, you know. When conditions come together, and look, it doesn't happen all the time, it might happen once in 20 years, but it is amazing, and we just get these colossal looking fish. It's awesome.
It's amazing to think, Scotty, that it's that one factor that makes it happen, and that's bait fish.
That's it. You know, the lakes fill, they're very productive, the food chain kicks off, and you know, your zooplankton, all your macroinvertebrates, your tiny water beetles and bugs and shrimps and things like that, and then the minnow feed on them, and then you've got these great rainbows that just love eating minnow, and the protein value is very high in minnows, so they grow very fast when the temperature's right.
Beautiful. Mate, I reckon we should get a photo of this guy and show everyone how fat that is.
That's amazing. Well, we've still got the rods out, we're still moving, so we're still fishing, so we'll get a couple of photos and hopefully we'll get another strike.
Beautiful, mate.
Right, we're working our way around the bays here at the moment, and every now and then we'll poke our head out and the wind will hit us right in the face. So we've just turned off the electric for the moment. We've got the big motor on, we've got it just in gear, and we're just going to sneak along nice and quietly. We're on. Just about keeping that line tight initially. The fish will pretty much swim into the boat every time. Here he comes, just in the prop wash down here. Geez, they're thick fish.
Just sort of can't go out of gear or that wind's going to blow us.
Yep, and then we'll have tangled lines and stuff everywhere. Now, slow down a bit, but I still think he's got a little bit more in him. Oh, all right, now what I'll do is, Lee, I'll get you to just kick it out of gear for a sec, and I'll just grab that net, if that's all right, if you can just keep steering us. Got him. Oh, Lee, you're on.
I'm on.
Unreal. And that's hot fishing.
Oh, mate, and you said about double hookups and stuff, and that's why we were so much wanting to keep that boat moving and keep these rods out, because the simple solution would have been to pull the other lines in, but then you wouldn't have got that double hookup. And there's every chance you could get a triple now. We've still got two other rods in the water. And hopefully it hasn't tangled the other lines. Probably just keep going forward a bit if you want, Scotty. At this point here, I'll just keep that rod low because I want to stop this fish from jumping if possible.
It's just a classic example of leaving the other rods in, hey?
Wasn't it?
It's just unreal.
Yep. Not even watching what's going on and you've got another fish. Look, he's still going out the back. He thinks he's a marlin.
And you wouldn't have caught rainbows like this for a long time, would you, Lee?
Mate, I've never seen a rainbow in quite this condition.
And you've caught a lot of trout in your life too, haven't you? Fished in the snowies since you're a kid.
Yeah, but not, I mean, these are out of control, really, for the thickness of them, for their age. How you going, Scotty? I can't see him.
Right,
you right?
got him.
Thanks, mate.
Done well.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome. What a pair of fish, eh?
Mate, that is awesome. I tell you what, mate, as a kid growing up in the Snowy Mountains, you still heard a lot about Murderduke and Mottawari and Purrumbete and Bullamerri. And I thought I would never ever get close to seeing fish like that ever again, but I mean, look at that. That is just some of the fittest, fattest trout you'll ever see in your life. And to catch one of these in a day
is awesome.
Let alone to get double hookups on them.
I know, that's just crazy. And people wouldn't believe you if they didn't see it for themselves.
No.
You know?
Scotty, you're a superstar.
Mate, this is awesome. I don't know, how much more of it can you take, mate?
Oh, a lot.
All right, well, let's get those lures going again, mate.
Yeah, for sure, mate. This is too good. When you're putting a lure out for trolling, there's two ways you can do it. You can either drop it over the side, open the bail and let it go that way, or if you're in a rush and you want to get it out there a bit quicker, you can very easily just flick it out the side. And I always tend to flick it a bit out the side so it stays away from the other lines. It will then swing around. But before I go and keep just letting line out, I just like to click that bail over and feel that that lure is actually swimming properly through the water. That's the bonus to something like your rainbow braid, or any braid for that matter of fact. It's got no stretch and you really do feel what's going on. Now that I can feel that lure swimming, I can keep letting it back. Obviously with the line being multicolored, it changes color every 10 meters. And the other bonus to that is we know exactly where it's at every time. Scott knows that that outfit over there, he might have it at the blue color, he might have the other one at the yellow color. When he catches a fish or we move spots, he knows next time he can let them out to the same point, and those lures will be staggered at the same point every time. This one here, I know I let this all the way out to the end of the blue, just like this. There we go, we're just into the purple now, and that's put that lure 30 meters behind the boat. In the holder, check that drag. You obviously want it to be just enough so it's going to set those little hooks, but certainly not too much that it's either going to rip them straight out or even worse, bust the line. Look at him go out the back. He thinks he's a striped marlin. The trouble is that all these fish are sort of similar lengths. So out the back, you just go, oh, it's not that big, and it's not till it gets near the boat that you go, hang on.
Hang on, it is.
It looks like it's been stung by 100 bees. It's a bit swollen. I think he burned himself out on those when he was trying to jump over the moon, Scotty.
It is a full moon too,
It
so
is.
you must be able to see it.
Keep this rod low, because this guy's fairly sure he's going to fire up again near the boat. And if there's one thing I know about these trout so far from today, is they love to just come into the boat and play dead, and then when they get near the boat, go a little bit silly. He's right here.
Just can't be fooled, can you,
No.
Lee? You just got to be patient.
Here we go.
And like, we're using 10-pound leader today. Oh, and people say, people say to me, why do you use 10-pound leader for trout fishing?
Because I don't like snapping off $15 Opalas.
Exactly. Hey mate, this is a pretty good one actually.
It's a nice one. But you do, and you have to, don't you?
That's right, it's just sensible. You don't want to snap off your lure on the strike. You know, these things hit hard.
They hit,
and
yeah.
you're fishing for the big one, you know?
That's exactly, well, so what are these?
Yeah. Well, this is just standard,
The
mate.
standard.
Standard Western Victorian rainbows. Nah, they always do that.
Don't they? They can certainly see that net. And this squid rod, Scotty, it's just sort of perfect for it.
Got good shock absorption value, hasn't it?
8'3", just long and soft, designed for squid fishing, but it's sort of just the ideal stick for this trout trolling. Got the Emeraldus reel too, made for squid fishing. It's got a much heavier gearbox in it for the hard fishing method you do when you're working those jigs. But again, this whole outfit's just
Great for squid and giant rainbows.
squid and giant trout.
Oh. All right, can you get him away from the back there? Righto.
It's like trying to steer, I don't know, basketball.
Mate, I think that's probably even bigger. I think they're just getting bigger.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they've grown.
If that's not 7 pounds.
Thanks, dog.
But, mate.
That is too good.
No, this is stupid.
Mate, it is. Like, I was thinking if I caught a 5-pound rainbow today, I would be happy. I think.
Well, I think you've done that, mate.
Right.
A couple of times. You've broken a couple of records, I reckon. Look at that. What do you say? You know, after everything today,
I don't
it just
know.
doesn't stop. You want to go in, but
We're not.
you don't want to go in. Just
No.
one more run, you know?
And it's every run.
It is, every run.
All right, I'm going to pop him back.
Off. Well done, mate.
Too good.
Awesome.
Thanks, buddy.